Let's read this share now. In addition to doing limud and hisbonenus k'fiyah cholta, and then having a k'fiyah for Talmud Torah k'fiyah pnai, ve'im yarchav Hashem lo'yoid, and you tell yourself that if Hashem is going to give him more time, azai, so then tehedi yadayim, a man with pure hands, and in ruchnius hands means midas. Yosef Eimitz Machshava Teva v'chol is going to add more impetus and more good thoughts, etc. He's going to do more limud and more hisbonenus. What the Alter Rebbe is saying is every person has to learn chassidus. Every person has to think chassidus. If you don't become a cover for the Eibusha through the hisbonenus, become a cover through Torah mitzvahs. A little hisbonenus you must do. What's beyond your capacity, you make up with through limud Torah. And you also resolve that if I'll have more time, I'll give the Eibusha more time. I had an uncle who died, a great uncle who died. He was a butcher, and he worked hard. And I went to his funeral with my mother's uncle, and his children made his spade for him. He would come home from work at night. He worked very hard, and he wasn't even such a strong man. Butchers work very hard. He would come home, he would eat, he would do homework with the children, and he would say to his wife, I'm going to look in. I'm going to look in. I'm going to look in. He would take out a sefer. He would sit down on the recliner. In 5 seconds, he was sleeping with the book on his lap. He would sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning as they schlafen from Bengal. He never learned. He had no koyach. And his children said the guy was a big Talmud Chacham. He learned in yeshiva. He was in World War II in the trenches. A frumerid. But he pushed no koyach. His kid said, "We had to take a lens." So one of his kids says all the time that the Torah sat on his chest while he was sleeping on the recliner, the Torah was going into him. This is the pshat. His whole shtel was, I gotta learn Torah. But the hours that he wasn't learning were wished hours, and the wished hours are part of the Torah as well. And then there is number 4. Okay, number 1, every person has to learn chassidus, do a little hisbonenus. Number 2, you have to learn Torah. Number 3, you have to always want to learn more Torah. And number 4, your whole life has to be mitzvahs, so that everything you do is Yiddishkeit. So maybe you cannot become a mishkan, a dira to the Eibishter through hisbonenus alone, like the office of Moshe Rabbeinu. But when you combine all of these things, the limud and the hisbonenus and the Torah and the wanting to learn more Torah and the mitzvahs and the tzedakah, which we'll see momentarily, so you also in a way are dira b'tach Torah. You become a mishkan for the Eibishter, even though you're not doing it in this idyllic way, which we described in the previous pedic through the hisbonenus and the simcha of emunah. V'gam, in addition, the shara yem call all the rest of the day when you're busy doing panasa. You should be moch and l'shifti yizbarech, prepared at a seat for the Eibishter. Your whole life is Yiddishkeit. I am pushing buttons on a computer, I'm schlepping boxes, because b'nesina tzedakah, I give stock. That sheyitin miyagiye, he gives from his hard avani, from his hard work, to the Eibishter. Giving stock is one of Hashem's midas, as the Gemara says, "Mahu rachum v'chulu." He is compassionate. You too should be compassionate. Like it says in the Pasach Eliyahu, which we say on Fridays, "Chesed rei yamina." Chesed is Hashem's right hand. Now, but I'm not giving Hashem everything. I'm only giving Hashem a fifth, 20%. Says Alter Rebbe, this fifth that I'm giving, Ma'ala'im lifts up along with itself. Kol ha'arbiya, there's the other 80% L'Hashem to the Eibishter. Le'yais, that even the 80% of money which I keep for myself is also o machan l'shifti yizbarach, a seat for Hashem, because of the 20% that I gave. Kedei d'mayim azal, as the Gemara says, shemitzvot tzedakah shkula keneged kol ha'karbonos. Tzedakah is like karbonos. And what do we know about karbonos? By karbonos, the Gemara says, by karbonos, hayakol ha'chai, the whole min ha'chai, all animals, were eila l'Hashem, went up to the Eibishter, adi behemachas, through one animal. And by the way, I don't know if it's a Gemara or it's a Mamach Chazal. And the whole plant kingdom went up to the Eibishter, they saw them say l'sechah. We're giving 1/10 of a measure of seilas to the Eibishter. Balul v'shem and v'chuli, which is mixed with wine. So I want to repeat the list of stuff. If you cannot be, or ishpazichan legavura, like the Ovis and Moshe Rabbeinu, who were Merkava, and there was Badinus, and the Simcha and the Muna, they had, the Eibishter was revealed in them to the point where Bacha Bakak V'midin Alachas. So first of all, you have to learn Chassidus and do a little bit of his Badinus. Second of all, you have to learn Torah. Third of all, you have to always want to learn more Torah. Fourth of all, you have to give tzedakah. And when you're giving tzedakah, the tzedakah doesn't only uplift what you're giving, it uplifts what you're keeping. And that's not all. There's a number 5. There's another way you could be a seat adira for the Eibishter, and that is In addition to all of this, later on, after you work and you eat, you're going to learn and daven. You lift up to the Eibishter, everything you ate, drank, and had pleasure. And the 80% which you keep for yourself. Libri is goofy for the health of your own body. Is going to be explained later that when a Yid uses his physical things for the service, I think later means Perek Lamed Zayin, but I'm not sure. When he uses his physical things for the service of the Eibishter, the physical things become holy. So the Rebbe says, you could be a Dina B'Dachtayim even if you're not Moshe and the Yovis. I can't have that kind of emunah, that kind of simcha. First of all, try your best. Second of all, learn Torah. Third of all, want to learn more. Fourth of all, give tzedakah. And fifth of all, when you serve Hashem, you're drawing energy from your work, and from your parnasim, from your eating, and they also lift up to the Yibsh. So everybody in one way or another could make himself into a Dina B'Tachtayim. The Ovis and Moshe Rabbeinu did it through his bondiness, and we could do it through this very involved variety of possibilities, which is lefiyerach us. It's realistic for us people. And he continues and he says, "V'hine, v'chol pratim min simchas hanefesh hanal." We just discussed all kinds of simchas hanefesh. Perek Chavtes said simchas hanefesh has to do with clarity about the Eibishter. Perek Lamed Aleph said simchas hanefesh has to do with accentuating the neshama, de-emphasizing the body. Perek Lamed Beis spoke about simcha through Avos Yisrael. Perek Lamed Gimel spoke about simcha through Amunah. Says the Alter Rebbe, you could be happy and at the same time bitter at the same time. There's no contradiction between your joy of your soul, to be shamed and disgusted in your own eyes, a broken heart and a broken spirit. While you're besimcha mamish. This is a very high madrege. Because the fact that you're shameful in your own eyes and we said that goof is because of the goof. And the animals. Why are you joyous? Because of the godly soul. And the spark of God which is giving chayas to your goof. So the Rebbe says you can always have both emotions. You can have the simcha of the neshama and the bitterness of the body. Now what does it mean for me and for you? You alternate. The bitterness of the body motivates the simchas hanefesh, and the simchas hanefesh lifts you up and motivates a further bitterness of the body. But the Alter Rebbe says not only can you have them intermittently, one, you can have them at the same time mamish. But this is a madrega of big tzaddikim. Like it says in the Zayah. And there was a Tanya who lived in physical planet Earth. That it says about him. There was crying in his heart on this side. And gladness and joy on the other side. His right eye was laughing, his left eye was crying. I can't do that and you can't do that. But this tzaddik was able to be besimcha because of his neshama, and be'atzvus or be'meridas because of his guf. We could do it too. And the meridas from our guf pushes us to have the simcha from our nefesh. So we have basically 4 expressions of the Gilead and neshama: clarity, joy of the soul, Avos Yisrael, and Amun. And tomorrow's Shia we start talking about the Ma'ila of Dina B'Tachtayim, Asiyah, and the changes from the priority of being Teda, like it was until now, always the Talmud Teda Keneged Kulam, and the priority becomes mitzvahs because Inyan Abitl.